Hey everybody, Jedimanda here, and just like everybody else in the world at this time, I'm slightly obsessed with Wonder Woman, so I crafted a tutorial to help you make her crown. Here is a list of all the materials you will need, and the one thing I want to tell you all is that you'll need to draw out this crown design first. It's actually quite difficult, so right here I have my image of the design that I have color-coded for you, so this is what you're going to be cutting out of craft foam throughout the video. So this video is basically just a time lapse of me cutting out all of the craft foam pieces and gluing it together. This is actually a very simple project for Wonder Woman cosplayers out there. All you have to do is cut each piece out of the craft foam, glue it together, cover it with Worbla, seal it, then paint it, then you're done. Literally, those are the steps. But this part right here I found the most difficult. It is assembling the craft foam. But if you take your time, draw your design, and help yourself with color-coded pieces of craft foam, it will help your process along like greatly, I promise. But take your time and be patient with this. It's a lot of layering, this version of her crown. But once you have this step done, after you have everything together, then you're going to move on to the Worbla. Okay, now your craft foam base of the crown is done. Now let's go to the Worbla. So go ahead and grab the Worbla that you need. Honestly, you really don't need that much, but I did do the sandwich method for this, which is basically putting Worbla on both sides of the crown, of the craft foam. So I did the front and back in Worbla. You can just do the front and cover the edges, but it's up to you. Basically, you really don't need a whole lot. Just cover it and then take some tools to smooth in all of those little bitty tiny detailed grooves that you put in by layering the craft foam. That will take a while. Have your heat gun with you and heat and reheat each step, and just take your time with the Worbla and smoothing out all of the details. Make sure you really get in those crevices, because those are the crevices that you want to be the darkest and that will pick up the black acrylic, and the top parts and the ones that are raised up the highest will pick up the gold rub and buff paint. Once you have all of the grooves and everything covered in Worbla that you feel is a good representation of your crown, grab a mannequin, or be careful but use your own head to kind of shape the crown to your head while it's still somewhat warm, so you get a nice curved shape to your forehead. While the crown is still warm from molding it to your head, grab an owl or sharp scissors and poke 2 holes on the edge of the crown so you can fit your elastic through. Once you have your holes poked through, go ahead and do 3 to 5 layers of Plasti-Dip to smooth out the roughness of the Worbla. Once that is completely dry, grab your black acrylic and then sponge all over the crown. Make sure you fill in all those little creases. And then once that's dry, grab your Rub and Buff paint. Now this is a wax paint and you'll need to apply it with a towel, sock, or sometimes people use their fingers. I like to use a cloth and just basically buff on the gold paint. It's really easy, way easier than you think. So just go to town, and a little bit goes a long way. The more you buff, the more it gets in the creases and the more metallic it becomes. So have fun with this step. I thought it was really enjoyable, quite frankly. The next step I'm doing is grabbing some white acrylic paint and just touching on little edges, little bitty highlights of white paint. It really makes it stand out in photographs to touch it with some white paint and adding little bitty highlights here and there, but don't go overboard with it. Just have some fun and touching especially the star part and some of the corner creases and sharp edges, hitting it with the white. You can also go back in through to the dark parts and add in more black acrylic if you see fit. Home base now. Go ahead and grab your 1/4 inch elastic and feed it through the holes that you bend the end of your crown. Go ahead and do a zigzag or a straight stitch over the ends to stitch them down, and once you have that down, you have your crown. It is completely finished. I am very, very happy with the look of this. I think it looks super cool, fits super great. Great first start to my Wonder Woman cosplay. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'll gladly answer, and I'll see you next time.